What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Let's Play series on the Amplify Console Edition. Now, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks since I last done any recording, and that's because I've had real world problems come up, so although I've been playing here and there, I've not really had too much time to actually do recording. So today's episode is mainly going to be just to let you know what I've got done so far. Most of it's been grinding and about 95% of it's been AFKing. Now, as you can see behind me, I've got an automatic villager breeder. Now, initially it started off just being a couple of the zombie villagers that I cured, and then got them breeding, so I got a couple of farmers, then I built a little farm so they will automatically send food to each other to breed. And I've got a villager sitting up there. Let me just show you from this angle. Yeah, so he's just sitting up there. They carry on breeding, trying to fill this village, because there should be more than one up there. They obviously can't fill it. Then the babies run off the edges into the water stream. They then come down here, around here, into this little box. And then in this little room here, I could have set this up at about 100 times better, but I just wanted to get rid of the villagers that I didn't want, just so I got the ones that I wanted to trade with. The main thing I was looking for was a librarian villager with the mending books, because I tried the AFK fishing and I've got about 100 different enchanted books, not a single one of them had mending on. So yeah, so I decided to go this route instead. Now, as you can see, because you have to be in the area for them to breed, I just started doing some sugarcane fields. Now, I know there's a number of automatic farms, but I wanted this to be a decoration thing as well as being handy to have nearby. So I'm going to stretch this out. After I get some more lily pads, I want to stretch this out all the way over to there, where I said I wanted the bridge. Now, as you can see, I've already got the base layer of the bridge of how wide I want it, going directly across. But I'll come back to that in a second. Now, with the villager breeder, I've managed to finally get a librarian after about 17 of them to actually have a mending book. And best thing is, I think it's this one here. Is it you? Sharpness. And yeah, mending. It's only 20 emeralds each for one of them. So as you can see, I already started. I got mending on my sword, mending on a fortune 3, mending on a silk touch. And as you can see, I'm collecting the rotten flesh. I was at my AFK mob spawner earlier on this morning. Now, let me just go over here to my ender chest, because if I remember correctly, the clerics, one of their unlocks is the Eye of Enders. So if I could just trade with one of them to get the Eye of Enders, rather than hunting down Enderman, because the next episode I want to actually hunt down the... I forgot the name of it. It's not Fortress, is it? Stronghold, yeah. It's a stronghold that I want to find in the next episode, so then we could move towards getting the Elytra, because running down this bridge each time to get back home from up this area is becoming a bit of a nuisance. Now, it's getting night time, although this place is torched up and looks disgusting at the moment. I absolutely hate the torches dotted about, but it was necessary while I was building this, because the amount of zombies that spawn in the desert, the husks now, is a little bit silly. So let me just quickly sleep this night away, and we'll see if we can unlock the Eye of Ender trades with the clerics using the rotten flesh that I've collected. Oh, there we go. Now, what I've been doing is waiting for them to breed the librarians, collecting the sugar cane, coming down here, changing it to the paper to unlock their trades. And if they got rubbish trades, the reason how comes I've kept the librarians is just so that I could continue to trade them the paper to get emeralds to then get the mending books. But let me put my ender chest down quickly, get some more rotten flesh, and hopefully one of these will have a decent trade. Which one's cheaper? You're 40. You are 37. Oh, I haven't got any room for the thing, have I? I'll just put you in there. Get the emerald. See what its next unlock is. Come on. Okay, redstone, lapis. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Try again. Usually it's between 3 and 5 to unlock the following trade. But this one's being a bit stubborn by the looks of it. Come on. Right, so do that. It will reopen the initial one and then it will unlock the next 2. Fingers crossed we'll get the Eye of Ender. I really hope it is the clerics that do the Eye of Enders, that's what I remember. But I've not done the actual villager trading for quite a while. Okay, so we've got Ender Pearls, which is pretty handy. Not for 7 emeralds though, it isn't. I'd rather actually just go out and hunt the Enderman if it's going to be that expensive. Come on. I might as well do this guys first as well. Oh, I forgot how noisy these guys were as well. It's driving me insane already. Okay, so it's not even nearly night time. We've got... how many trades is it? 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it should be like 3 more from each. Gotta make sure that I don't run out of the rotten flesh beforehand. Otherwise I'm gonna have to waste emeralds buying up their other trades. Come on, unlock. This guy, I will buy a bit of redstone from you. He starts his one. Yeah, this is what I've been noticing as well when I'm doing the trading. The ones down here will then start breeding if they're close enough to each other. Which I've got them all set in minecart so I know which one's where and they don't constantly run around. And they actually do tend to go up ladders as well, which I didn't realise they done. Okay, so get one bit of lapis. Hopefully that, yep, that's him unlocking his next one. 6 emeralds, no thank you. See if that unlocks anything. Come on. Okay, his one's unlocking. That one just refreshed it. If they only got 7, did they not do the Eyes of Ender as I thought they would do? Or is it... oh, they've both got the exact same trades. Just different values. Oh, that's a bit crummy. Could have sworn that they'd done the Eyes of Ender. Okay, he's refreshing. No, I think that is it. Oh, that's a bit pants. I was hoping it would be an easier way of getting the Eyes of Ender to go hunting, but it looks like we're just going to have to wait till night time and hunt down some Endermen. Which should not actually be... no, it's about midday now. So let me just get rid of the rest of this rotten flesh. That. Do that. Grab the rest of this stuff. Now, I've got a block pallet all set up to see... let me just buy an end bell. Just to refresh his rotten flesh room. To see which blocks I prefer to do the bridge in. And I'm about 90% sure of the one that I want to use. I'm definitely going sandstone and nether brick. So I spent some time collecting all of that. And I also want, usually with these sort of things I go with 3 blocks. I go with 1 as a base block, which would be the sandstone. Another one for the detail block, which I want nether brick because they contrast well together. And then a 3rd one as a colour, sort of like a backdrop color for small details. So you sort of like put down the backdrop color, then you build the layers on top of the actual backdrop. And I think that is all my zombie flesh done. So we'll put that in there, and we'll keep the rest of this garbage on us. Zombie flesh can probably just be thrown away somewhere. Throw you in there. So we've got a couple of ender pearls there. Got any more in here? Nope. And put them bits into there. Now we'll head over to the bridge. Now if you want to know how to build this farm, just let me know down. It's very, very simple. You could probably just pause the video here and you can see how it's built. The glass comes over the actual water streams, so only the baby villagers can actually get down into the water streams. And eventually in this other room I'm going to be taking the track off over to that way, to where we will be building some iron golem farms. Now this is the block palette that I had in mind, using the hardened clay as our colour backdrop. And because the block palette I'm actually going to have to stretch off into the fortress that I want to build over there, it's going to be something I need to collect a lot of, and I'm definitely leaning towards the orange hardened clay, because it does tend to go a lot better with the nether brick and sandstone. But I do really like the contrast between them two blocks. It looks very nice. Now with the rest of these, green could be decent, brown is too much, is too close to the nether brick colour. The red is definitely between, the yellow looks like Coleman's mustard yellow. I do not like the look of it at all. I just thought it might contrast well and it didn't. I'm definitely leaning towards the red or the orange. I think yeah, I think I'll go for the orange. Now, as you can see, this is how wide I want it. This is actually the pathway width that I want. So the sides are obviously going to come out a bit further and up, just so you've got like the railings, which I need to, yeah, that's how comes I mainly chose nether brick, because you can actually make the nether brick railings. It was either going to be that or a type of wood as our secondary block, but I do like the contrast with the nether brick. Now I also want to do another platform, so another sandstone bridge underneath 2 down. That is going to be for railway lines running underneath, and not only will that give us the transport that we want to go from over here all the way over to the fortress, because running it each time is going to be a bit of a pain. And I know that we're going to have the elytra, but until the fireworks come in that you can use the elytra with, it's still going to be quite a nuisance trying to get up high enough to then glide over there and back and forth. So I think rail carts is a bit of a stopgap until that update comes out, which no doubt is going to be a while. And it will also give the bridge a bit of thickness, because with it being just that thing going all the way across, it won't look good. But if in theory with the 1, 2 below, then it will be 4 thick, and then it will come up on the sides. So I think that will look about 10 times better, as well as being a lot more useful. Now, where I've got these out is where I want the support structures. So this one should be fine. I've got to clear a little bit of this mountain here for it. Oh, sorry about that. That's someone texting me. Should have put that on mute, to be honest with you. And then you've got this one, which is going to be the next support structure, which means we're going to have to dig a section out. I don't know whether or not to dig a section out or just have it stop where that sand is. I'm thinking just to have it stop where that sand is. Otherwise, I'll be removing blocks, just be placing blocks, and I don't know, it just seems like a bit of a waste. Now, what I am going to do, oh yes, also from the last episode where we went to get the beacon, I did do a lot of mining, and from that mining I managed to get enough iron, gold and diamonds to get a full tier beacon up. So that's the beacon beam there, and also I done quite a bit of digging. Now that's what led me to wanting to get the villagers up and running, to get the mending books, because having efficiency 5 as well as the haste 2 allows you to do the instant mining, which makes digging out the area about 100 times quicker, but I'm saying but a lot here. The pickaxes needed repairing, and the pickaxes I had got up to the point, I had 3 of them efficiency 5, both of them got up to the point where I was needing 19 and 20 odd levels just to repair them, and it was a little bit insane after a while, so I decided to go the villager route to get mending, and I'm quite happy that I did. It has taken a insane amount of hours of AFK in to get the villagers, because the ones that have the mending book clearly are not that common. Now, I've dug out all of that right hand side, all of that backhand side over there. Let me get up a little bit higher so you get a better view. As you can see, I've got the haste 2 running now. So let me just jump up here. Throw you away. Yeah, a lot of AFKing at the mob farm as well to get the TNT to do the clearing. Now, if I remember correctly, yeah. So I've still got a load of TNT there. I've been getting quite a lot of decent resources from doing this. So I've got a couple of stacks of diamonds there, not to mention the ridiculous amounts of stone, cobblestone, dirt, gravel, and all them bits and pieces, which will be moved to a main storage system once I've got a proper base set up. Oh, someone's shooting at me. Let's pop and weave while we get our bow. And, oh really? He should have fed off there. There we go. Get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. Have we got any torches on us? Because over here it's a little bit dark. Yeah, so, as you can see, I cleared out all of this side. And all the way down. I was going to do that type of wall in stages as I clear it, but I've decided to wait until I finish clearing it all, and then I'll do all the walls and do the hidden lighting. The one bad thing about it is that the amount of mobs that spawn whilst I was digging it out is a little bit insane. It gets to be quite a bit of a nuisance. Now, in between this episode and the next one, I'm going to get the basics of, I'll probably get the majority of that bridge built, and I'll make sure that I've gathered up enough ender pearls to get the ender eyes, or eyes of ender as I think they're called. So I'll have to do another trip to the nether to get some blaze rods, and then the next episode we go hunting for the stronghold and hopefully take on the dragon. Now that we've got mending books, I'm going to be doing a whole new set of armor. I've got quite a few mending books already. And let me just pop down there and let me just see how many I've got already. So I was afraid that they might get killed by zombies. Yes, I've still got another 5. I would put it on this armor, but fire protection is pretty crappy compared to protection 4. That one's only protection 3. That one's fire protection. That one's fire protection. What I really want is feather falling, protection, depth strider, and unbreaking on some boots. And then the protection 4 unbreaking, protection 4 unbreaking. And then I do want the respiration, but with protection 4 unbreaking and obviously mending on them all. Also need to make myself a mending axe, and I would have put mending on the shovel, but fortune isn't handy. I'd prefer having silk touch to get the grass blocks and the clay blocks in full. I've really got to decide what I'm doing with this area down here as well. Very indecisive at the moment, especially when it's coming to builds. I'm very hesitant to get started, like the block choice of the bridge. I've spent a lot of time in and ahhing over. Initially, before I chose a hardened clay, I had the wood choices there, and I didn't really like any of them. Oh, creeper. And then after that, I then had an assortment of the wall, and I didn't really like the way they look, not to mention that if lightning hits it, it will catch fire. Oh, was that a zombie just? Yeah, it is. He's fine. And now, there we go, still sprint. So, I've landed on the hardened clay, and I'll get that started after this episode, which we are going to be coming to a close. I know we've not done much, but I think the amount of stuff that I have done is, it would have taken an episode to bring you up to date, and I'll try not to do so much off camera, but with stuff going on and with the villager stuff, like I could have built this entire villager breeder in around about 5 or 10 minutes, which I could have filled up an episode with. It was the waiting around for the right villagers to be bred, which has taken the longest amount of time. Right, no word of lie, it's probably been a good 30 or 40 hours AFK just to get the villagers that I've got so far. Like, I've killed off ridiculous amounts of them. Like, I've killed off most of the clerics that I get and most of the farmers, because they're usually fletchers, leather workers, blacksmiths, and none of them are actually normal farmers, which is bugging me. Otherwise, I would have had like a wheat farm and stuff set up to do the trading. But yes, between this episode and the next one, I will hopefully get the majority of this bridge built, get the sugarcane fields spread out up to this point over here, just so the transition from the grass to the desert isn't too harsh. Is that a word that I wanted to use? Yeah, too harsh of a transition. And that will hopefully look nice. With that over there, I did mention that in our last episode, that I was going to be saving that project for another day. Now that's just going to be a purely little cosmetic build just to fill up that space over there, which I want to build a lighthouse on. I don't know whether to go with brick for the main of it or just to go all wood, but I'm going to have a massive light at the top using firewood and netherrack, so I'm definitely leaning towards stone to lessen the risk of it completely burning down. And as you can see, I made some alterations to the roof of our little cottage down there. And I still need to decide what I'm doing with the rest of that island. I'm not sure whether to bring it down a bit or to cut off that bit of sand at the back. Or I could actually just cut that entire end bit of the island off, but that's more indecisive decisions for me to make. But today, I think that's going to be it. So, well, yeah, for now, anyway, until our next episode. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed recording it. I know that nothing has been done whatsoever during the episode, but hopefully you're updated enough that we can actually get started on doing stuff in the next one. Next time I'll see you, we should be ready to go for the stronghold, take on the dragon, and yeah, get ourselves some elytra. So, thanks for joining me. Hopefully, see you next time, and goodbye.